What are some of the worst things that you've seen? What are some of the worst scenes that you've rolled up on as a law enforcement officer?
Well, I mean, obviously not counting, the child in the pond. Um, as a as a sergeant, I would show up on a scene. And the one in my mind right now is just it's a fatality accident. Pretty much any officer has to work a fatality accident at some point or another, or at least be a part of one, a part of an investigation on one. And I worked a fatality accident. I was the first one on the scene. It was right at the edge of my city limits when I was a sergeant. I was actually eating dinner at the time when the call came out, and I heard where the restaurant was located compared to where the crash occurred. I heard the crunch from the crash. So I was already up and leaving the table when I got the call. I was first on the scene for about 16 minutes by myself, waiting on other officers to get there, deputies, things like that. And it ended up being a 3-car accident, and what had happened was one vehicle in a Toyota 4Runner ran a stop sign out into a 65-mile-an-hour 4-lane intersection. Hit one vehicle, knocked it into another one, and when I got on scene, there was a young Hispanic male walking around and seemed fine. I thought he was a witness. And so I grabbed him and stood him to the side, told him don't leave. I wanted to get a statement from him at some point when I was done dealing with the people. Went and dealt with the first vehicle. It was a 16-year-old that had passed away already. Ended up being somebody that was good friends with my kids. So,
Oh man.
kind of familiar with her. And then the other vehicle was a family. Mom and dad were both injured. Dad was unconscious. But anyways, I assessed everything, got back on with dispatch. Eventually got coverings put over the 16-year-old. Public doesn't need to see that. And then went over to the Hispanic male. Once EMS, emergency medical services showed up, I went back over to the Hispanic male, started talking to him. Turned out he was the operator of the Toyota 4Runner that had caused the accident that actually blew the stop sign and hit these vehicles. And so immediately there was a deputy that showed up on scene. He was very adamant that this was in his jurisdiction, not mine. I said, okay, here he is. I've smelled alcohol on him. This is the driver and the cause of this accident. He's in your custody now. There was no field sobriety testing done by that deputy or anything else. And long story short, that individual ended up with a $75 fine for running a stop sign. That was it.
You gotta be shitting me.
No. So that was a bad one. But
That's infuriating.
oh yeah, I agree. One of my officers, when I was a sergeant, damn good officer, really good man. He had a child pass away while he was giving him CPR. If I remember, it was an 8-year-old boy having a asthma attack, and the inhaler was with the parents. Couldn't be found. They weren't on scene. They were elsewhere. I'll leave it at that. But
What were they doing?
partying.
Partying?
Yeah, but that officer ended up getting sued by the parents for wrongful death. So I mean, it's the world that law enforcement has to deal with is pretty incredible when you dig in deep, and there's a huge amount of officers out there that just and I know anybody in a profession like this. Fire department, hell, even social working, like we spoke about, knows how to compartmentalize. They've learned it somehow, and they just do it. And so you just go through your career and try your best not to open those boxes.
Yeah. I can definitely relate to that. And you get real good at it
Oh yeah,
until it catches up with you.
exactly.